Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be looking back on my 2021 beauty favorites and I'm going to let you know where they stand, if I'm still loving them. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy and let's get into it. So let's look at my 2021 favorites. I did do a video at the beginning of the year trying on all of these products, so I will leave that video linked down below, and we're just going to talk about my tippy top favorite in each category. Starting with foundation, for 2021, my very favorite foundation was the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, and this is still such a favorite. I think it has been surpassed this year, but it's still one that I love so much. It's one that every single time I use it, I love the way my skin looks. It's definitely very full coverage, and it definitely looks like makeup. But it just perfects the skin so much, and it just looks so healthy and beautiful and flawless, and I love how my makeup looks every single time I wear this. This is just such a good foundation. I have had this one in my project pan so I can try to use it up because I don't want this one to go bad. And I love it, and it's so much fun to reach for all the time, so it has not been a challenge to have in the project. My favorite concealer of 2021 was the One Size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but I do have so much use out of this one, and I honestly think I could finish it within the next few months if I put it in my project, which may be the plan for 2023. But I love this concealer. Again, very full coverage. I love the way this blends out. I love how seamlessly it blends into my other products. I really do love this concealer. I'm still gathering my thoughts on whether this is still a favorite or if it has been surpassed. I will let you guys know, of course, in my year-end ranking, but I still do really love this one. I think it's wonderful. Okay, the only product I had for brows for 2021 was the NYX Brow Glue. And I do still really like this. I think this has superior hold. I do think this really just sets the brows down and they're not going anywhere. But I don't like how it does get crunchy, so it has been passed by another brow gel, but I do still really like this. Would I repurchase this? Yeah, probably. If I used up all my other brow gels and I just needed something and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, I would definitely pick this up. I would not hesitate because this is a really good brow gel. My favorite mascara of 2021, I have a mini, and this is the Ilia Fullest Volumizing Mascara. What I loved about this was the volume, the length, and the separation that I got out of this one. This has a really huge wand. It's massive, but this is such a good mascara. This one I do still really love. It's definitely in my top 5, but I do think there is another mascara that has moved past it as my favorite, which I will also share in an upcoming video, but I do still really like this one. I would consider repurchasing this one, and I probably should do a beauty battle at some point, pitting this against some of my other mascaras that I also really enjoy, because I still really do enjoy this one. Let's move into the face. My favorite highlight of 2021 is kind of random, but it was from the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look of Love in a palette in Pretty Blushed Beauty, and it is the highlight that is in this palette. So this is also the same highlight that is in her Film Star Bronze and Glow Duos, which I don't have. This is the only place that I have this highlight, and it's still my favorite. I would definitely still consider this my favorite highlighter. There's just something about it that gives the skin such a glow while also looking kind of natural. You can tell it's makeup, but it's kind of natural. It really gives you that glow from within if you don't build it up too much. If you do build it up, it still gives you a really pretty glow. And it's not glittery. It's just the perfect highlighter formula. It is the smoothest highlight. I really do love it. That is still my favorite highlight. For bronzer, my favorite bronzer of the year was the LYS No Limits Matte Bronzer, and I have the shade Motivate, which is their latest one, and I still think this is a phenomenal powder bronzer. I tried a ton of bronzers this past year, so this has been passed in my collection. This is definitely one of my favorite among the powder bronzers that I have, but it has been passed by others. So while I still really love this one, it's no longer my tippy top favorite, but it is still a really great bronzer, and I would still highly recommend this one. For blush, I had the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Blush in the shade Flirtatious. This is still a phenomenal blush. This is such a beautiful dusty rose color. It goes with everything. It's just the perfect blush shade and formula. I really do love this one. I reached for this one a lot this year as well. I do have a lot of blushes in my collection. I've tried a lot of blushes, but this one is just one that remains a top favorite. My favorite powder of 2021 was the Dior Powder No Powder. And this one is also one that I still really love. I have not used this a ton this year because I've been trying to use up my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Pressed Powder. So I have not used this nearly enough. I have found powders that I prefer for under my eyes as opposed to this one. This one I really do like for all over the skin because it is definitely so lightweight and it's almost more like a finishing powder, which I like, especially with my dry skin. So I do still really enjoy this one. Again, it has been passed by other powders in my collection, but this is also still a top 5. I still really enjoy this one. I think this is great. I don't like that it has a tendency to get hard pan, so I think that might be one of the reasons why it ranks a little bit lower than it used to, but I still do really enjoy this one and I do want to get a lot more use out of it. Okay, I'm leaving the eyeshadow palette for last, but my favorite lip products of 2021. My favorite lip liner was the NYX lip liner in Nude Suede Shoes. This is just a perfect nude liner. The NYX pencil liners in particular are so good. They are that perfect hybrid between being creamy but not so creamy that they bleed everywhere, and they're not so dry that they're tuggy. So I really like the NYX pencil liner formula, and Nude Suede Shoes in particular is a perfect nude shade. And my favorite lipstick was the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipstick in Amorosa. This is still one I really love. You can see I've gotten quite a bit of use out of this lipstick, and this is one that I can definitely see myself using up because this is another one where it goes with a lot of different looks, and because the shade of this is slightly more cool tone, this is the lipstick that I reach for when I do a cool tone look and I don't know exactly what's going to look good on my lips. So if I do a purple eye look, this is the lipstick I reach for because it looks so good with everything. The Natasha Denona lipstick formula is definitely one of my very favorites. This is still one of my favorite lipsticks just because it's there for me when I need it. If that makes sense, I really do enjoy this one. I think it's perfect. And my favorite eyeshadow palette of 2021 was the ABH Norvina Volume 5. So I fell in love with this one because I don't normally pick up the Norvina palettes. They're just far too colorful for my own taste. But this one just kept getting my attention. So this was a Black Friday purchase for me last year. And I love this palette so much. I really do. This is such a beautiful purple palette. I love how easy it is to work with. I love how easy it is to create looks that are just so beautiful and fun and sparkly. You can stay with the mattes, but you can also create the most beautiful shimmery looks. This is my favorite purple palette of all time, and I would also say it's my favorite more colorful palette of all time. This is such a good one. I probably haven't reached for this as much lately because I've tested a lot of palettes this year, but this does remain my favorite of all my colorful palettes. So while it might not be the top favorite in my whole entire collection, simply because I am a neutrals girl at heart, this is definitely the favorite of all of my colorful palettes. So again, still so much love for my 2021 favorites. There's still products that I reach for consistently that I still really love and enjoy. So I do think that really goes to show that they really were favorites, not just of the year, but in general. So that is it for today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. That's going to be a lot more through the month of December. But thank you again, as always, for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!